Hi guys, welcome to another Block Spotlight. Today we're going to be looking at the frames. We kind of touched on them on the frame motor video, but here we are a little bit more in depth so we can see exactly what's going on with them. And here we are, this is the three culprits. We have the standard frame, we have the tube frame, and we have the redstone tube frame. Now recipes I did show you on the frame motor video as well, but here we go again. You have a brass ingot surrounded by sticks for the standard frame, and then you put a standard support frame with a pneumatic tube to get your tube frame, and with a redstone tube to get your redstone tube frame. Now over here we have our little setup, and I actually probably need to flick over into survival mode just so that I can do the crafting, and we'll show you exactly how these guys interact. Now, as I showed you on the frame motor video, if you put two together, these guys will move each other. Now, let's first of all craft up some stone panels and some stone covers, because these guys work in slightly different ways. So I throw my hand saw on the floor. Once you start using those hand saws, by the way, you will probably end up throwing it on the floor more than once. Okay, so let's put a frame here. Now if we were to put a cover on this frame, what that's going to do is it's going to mean that another frame can't move it. So before, what we'd expect is these two frames to move, but now we've got a cover on one of them. This frame is not going to interact with it. So that's quite important to note. Now the other thing to note is that if you were to attach another block onto this one, a non-frame, it will move it as well. So if you're going to create a machine that is going to have one side of frames on standard blocks, like so, you would need to cover the edges with covers so that it doesn't interact. Now this one here is not going to move. Actually, no, it will move because this isn't attached to that one with a frame. That one will move, but it won't take these two. But if we didn't want it to take this, what we'd have to do is we'd have to put a cover there and then put our battery, and then it will leave it behind. So that's something that you should bear in mind when you're building your machine, because you're going to need to use a lot of covers in the process. Now if we were to have, say, a cover on the top, we wouldn't then be able to put a wire on it, because if we put a wire on that, the wire gets left behind. So how do we solve that? Because you can't put a wire straight on the frame. Well, that's when you use the panels. Now the panels are the slightly thicker version of the cover. The cover are the very thinnest, and when you put a panel on there, you'll see that the corners are slightly coloured. So now we can put our wire on there, and then we can move it and have the wire go with it. So when you're doing wiring on frames, you need to be using panels. Now we also have this jacketed wire as well. So how does the jacketed wire work? Well, jacketed wire, you kind of need to have a proper frame, so to grip the whole thing. Now if I were to put a stone panel down there, we need rather a lot of wire to connect to that. This is actually still going to work as well. I didn't think that would work, but it does. So I've learned something as well just then. So I thought we would need to do that to get it to grip that one, but obviously not. Don't need that. Panel will work. So we can get rid of that, and the panel's going to grip. Cool. So that is basically kind of the basics of doing this. Now, once you get going with the larger machines, I mean, you can. Let me use normal frames. What you would need to do, if you were say going to build a door, let's just hypothetically build a door here. There you go, a 3x3 door. What you would need to do is you'd need to dig underneath, like so. Get your covers, put your covers underneath here. Make sure that's all covered up. We want some grass just to fill this in. There we go. Now that will then allow you to slide that. And I see a lot of people when they're building these frame doors actually just put covers straight on here, and you can do that. It does tend to you can see that you've got frames there, so you can either do that, or as I like to do, I mean, you can see how that looks. We'll just take them off like that. If I were to have this as part of our mechanism, grab some stone. So very quick frame door kind of thing. So we'll just fill that in like that, and we could do the same on the other side. So this is kind of a little bonus of how you would use these frames in practice. Then you can put your covers here. Like so. And then you would need to build up your wall here. And here. So as you can see, it makes for quite a thick wall. But as you'll see, if I just have a motor here. Fantastic. We'll drop a motor down. Get this guy in the right place with a button on him. With a button. Don't have a button. We're also going to need to get some power on there as well. So let's drop a battery box over here, button over here, and battery, just so we can show you this how these frames and motors work together. Hopefully that's enough power. So we have our, let's just throw some covers on the side here just to finish this off. Very simple 3x3 door, and all you do is, well, let's put one of them there as well, just so you can see the reverse action as well. Basically hit the button there and it's going to move the whole thing. It's going to move both sides like so. I obviously didn't build this quite close enough or quite far enough away, but as you can see, just move those motors a little bit further over and you're fine. I've also forgotten to put a cover on the bottom side there. So this frame motor is going to move, because you can move a frame motor with a frame. You just can't do it on the front face. It has to be on the side faces. And actually that works the same way with most of the Red Power machines. The front face is kind of immune to being moved by frames, but the side of them can be quite easily moved. So if you move this, what's actually going to happen is it's going to move that frame motor as well, and then we're going to lose power here. But they do keep a little bit of power. But there we go. There's a very simple frame door, and even I messed that up there. But there we go. There are the frames, the tube frames, and the redstone tube frames. How these guys work, let's just show you how you would connect this into a normal tube network, and how that looks. There you go. They just pop out of the frame like that. So very, very cool. Don't need to really explain much more with that. Just allows you to easily move your frames. Now you can just sit them on top like that, and that will work equally well. But otherwise, there you go, guys. Lots and lots of possibilities with the frames. So I hope you have as much fun with them as I have with them. I will be using frames extensively on my live streams, so feel free to pop by and see what I'm getting up to. I stream every night, 7 o'clock, GMT that is. So head on over and you can ask me questions live. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.